Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Earls Colne Airport, where we are going to be saving lives, being the hero, and trying not to ding the helicopter, let's be honest. This is a beautiful little aerodrome from Burning Blue Design. I did a video here recently, I'll put a link to it down below, but we're going to be flying this fantastic Hype Performance Group H145 from Earls Colne on a HEMS mission. This is a gorgeous repaint of the 84 Squadron Griffin HAR2 by Panther Repaints. I'll put a link down below. I've seen the Griffin over in Cyprus a few times, and it's fantastic to be able to fly a tribute repaint, and I just think it looks absolutely gorgeous, looks really good. So we're going to be taking off here from Earls Colne, flying to Folkestone docks to rescue some poor stevedore that's got himself into trouble. Lord knows what he's been doing. Then we're going to take him to Ipswich to hospital, and then we'll come back here. Now this is, I haven't got a huge amount of experience with the latest flight models with the H145, and we're flying the most recent update. It's tougher to fly now, it's more interesting to fly. So trust me, this isn't a tutorial. You're not about to see the best flying you've ever seen, but hopefully it'll be entertaining. Hopefully it'll be good fun. And I just love flying this H145. And if you do enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing to the channel and pressing that thumbs up button down below. Right, enough of me waffling. Let's go save lives. Right, time's a wasting. We need to get up and save some lives. So what we've got here is, first of all, I'll show you in the maps and missions. So we've got the mission map here already set up on the tablet. You can see we've already got the mission loaded up, and that's coming from the scenario planner, which is in the Hype Operations Center, which, if I remember, I'll show a screenshot of right now, and then at least you can see how that is made up. But essentially, what I'm doing now is just going into edit mode, and then I'm going to save it just to recycle it, just to make sure that it's correctly loaded up. So we have that there. Let's quickly come out of that. We now need to get everyone on board. So, oh, they're already there. Need to get the co-pilot in, and then we can close all the doors. Thank you very much. And let's get going. So, battery on. Prime pump. Get some lights on just so that they can see what we're doing. Leave everything else for the time being. Have a quick look at what's going on down here. Saying we've got a door open. Mate, close your door. Honestly, you can't get the crew these days. Power up test okay, so that's all good. So we will now go engine 1 to idle and keep an eye on everything. So that's all good, I think. Yep, that's fine. Now we'll go for engine 2. Keep an eye on the T's and P's. More pressure coming up a bit there, that's good. Just while I'm in here, I'll quickly add payload, 400 kilograms. Thereabouts. Got startup test okay coming up here. That's good. Okay, so now we'll just get our other bits up. So transfer pumps on, prime pumps off, standby battery, avionics on. We'll have the LAVCS to pilot. Get the static on. At this point I'm going to put the strobe on and the landing light because we're going to get cracking. And everything's tickety-boo. How are we looking down here? We can get rid of that. I'm not going to be using the Garmin today, but we'll get it set up that way anyway. Have we got anything here? Only to say that it's yellow to say that we're still in idle. So we will now
TOS system test OK.
Go into flight mode on both engines. Okay, that's fine. That's doing that all right. Okay. Now we just need to get autopilot sorted out. I am going to take the cyclic trim off because I find it easier to hover with that off. Right, so we've got our crew. Everything's looking okay. That's looking all right. Let's go back to the mission page. You'll be glad to know that when I fly helicopters, because I need to concentrate, I do tend to shut up sometimes. So this is one of those times. Back away from the buildings a bit and get this pointing in the right direction. Say goodbye to the Harvard and let's get going. Now up here I can see there are some power lines, so we need to make sure we're going to clear those, not do anything silly. Now I'll put the trim back in so it's easier to fly on this section. Get some speed. Just a almost slight bit of over torque there. It's really interesting. This is the new flight model, so it behaves very differently to what I was used to flying. You do have to be a little bit more careful of things. The aircraft will behave in slightly different ways. Like there, all of a sudden it was on a very similar collective setting. It was just over torquing a bit, so I had to pull that back. How you doing? Yeah, he never says much, this fella. How are we doing in the back? You right, boys? They're just like, oi, keep your eyes on the front. Don't worry, lads, you know me. I really do love flying this helicopter. It's Hype Performance Group are constantly updating
Don't sink.
Constantly changing it and improving it. It's still early access, so there's still more to come. They keep adding features for it, and just when you think you've kind of learnt it, they update it, and you need to kind of have another look at it. And that's really where I'm at now. If you've had a look at the other videos on the channel, you know that this certainly isn't the first H145 video, but it's the first using this more advanced kind of flight model that we have now, which almost makes it a different aircraft to fly. The procedures like startup and that sort of thing are obviously very similar, but with the new flight model it certainly handles differently. But it is an absolute joy. I love it to bits. Okay, so Essex, just Essex. You're in Essex, you idiot. Colchester, just over there. That's where we'll be going to do the hospital. I did do have a look at Ipswich as well, because Ipswich Hospital is actually a little bit closer to where we're going, but unfortunately the Autogen is actually built over the helicopter landing pad, so you know, we're going to come to Colchester and have a look at it that way. But effectively we are going to Felixstowe docks to pick up a injured stevedore who's been moved across to a field which is a safe landing pad for the helicopter. There's an ambulance crew with him. Police have cordoned off the area just to make sure that no one's walking their dogs on the field and that sort of thing. So you know, we should be tickety-boo. Hospital's just back there. I think I can just about make it out. The landing pad at the hospital is quite tight, so this could be interesting. We like a challenge. Be boring if it was easy, right? Yeah, I'm going to regret saying that. It's a really nice atmospheric day today. I'm using Rex AccuSeason, so we've got that nice realistic look to the trees at the moment. Quite atmospheric. I was having real problems with stuttering in my sim, and then I found out what it was my rolling cache was too small. I think it was I'd only got it set at something like 8 gigabytes, something like that, and it had obviously maxed out, and it was stuttering like hell as it was presumably trying to overwrite the rolling cache. So I've extended it back to what it used to be, which I think is about 60 or 90, and now it's a lot smoother, but it took me longer than it probably should have done to figure out what the problem was with that. So while we're doing this, just to say, we do have a Discord. We do have a section on the Discord just for helicopters, and there's a really good bunch of people there. People who are into warbirds, people who are into helicopters, just general propeller heads. And we get, you know, the screenshot section. We have group flights, a chance to just chat about aviation and what's going on. Section for real world aviation, if you like taking photographs of the real thing, that kind of stuff. Really nice bunch of people, and it's all about the community. It started off really, I was just using it to post up when I posted new videos, and now it's so much more than that. It's about the people who are part of the community, the people who are there, and you know, I'm very grateful for the fact that we've got so many great personalities who have come along and joined and added so much to it. So I'll put a link below, and you are more than welcome to come and join us. I know I probably say it in most of the videos, but I do love how this simulator brings a landscape to life. The Autogen isn't always correct. Well, I say isn't always correct. The Autogen is never going to be 100% correct, is it? But it certainly adds to it, and the fact that, you know, that is pretty much the scenery that you'd see if you flew over it in terms of the shape of the fields, where the hedgerows are, all that kind of thing. And a lot of the fun of this is just picking
Terrain
up...
ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Picking
Pull
up
up.
little details.
Terrain ahead.
Yeah, we're
Pull
going to
up.
switch that off right now. Yeah, the little details that that add to it. Like this kind of thing here. What have we got?
500.
That little caravan. Oh, boats. Looks like they've got boats in the field. Guess that makes sense. caravans maybe down there? Yeah, it's a caravan park, isn't it? Or chalets, but probably more likely caravans, static caravans.
Caution, terrain.
Do not fear,
500.
little computer. We will get there in one piece. So, the chap is hanging in there. He's being well looked after. What do you think? Do you think he's being well looked after, mate? Do you have an opinion? No. Don't give me attitude. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. So there's Folkestone right over there. You can just see what looks like a big container ship just coming up. Looking at the wind, we need to come round a bit, so we're going to go to the right of the container ship and should see the fields where we need to land. Folkestone, of course, is a major port. And one that actually enters into my day job in a very limited kind of way. No, I don't drive boats. So we've got a container ship over there by the looks of it. We've got a container ship there. I must admit, I can't remember which add-on I've got that's probably driving that. So our field is over there. Let's put this on. It's quite handy to have. And let's start thinking about how we're going to approach this. So I'm going to come round. Let's start losing some speed. I'm going to take the trim autopilot off, so I'm not constantly trying to fight the computer. And we're going to swing it round. Right, I think that's the field there. I can't see anything yet. I know that there's some vehicles there waiting for us, and hopefully they've got their lights flashing. So we're just going to come round. Just a gentle descent, bleed off some speed. I will at this point close the tablet just to make it a little bit easier to see. Yeah, there's the target field. Just trying to keep a nice gentle descent and keep us coming in towards the landing ground. Obviously we need to be doing a reasonable speed that we can collect the patient without them wondering what the hell's going on, but also not overcook it. Let's just trot the note. Yeah, there's the ambulance. Okay, that's good. That's all going to plan. So let's come round. See if we can get visual with that field again. Something else I'm going to use, which is quite handy, is let's put this into
500.
hover mode. Always quite useful as an aid just to see where you're going. Right, we need to come to the left a bit, I think. Let's keep coming to the left. Trying to get good sight on that field. This is the field we want to be in, just over here.
Caution, terrain. Warning, terrain. Caution, terrain.
There's our ambulance.
Warning, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Okay. And we're down. Okay, let's open that. Now, why is it saying fly to the accident scene when we're here? We're right there. Let's just jog it along a little bit. Get a little bit closer. Just to be on the safe side. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put the engine into idle and see if that gives us the prompt. There he goes. Go and get the patient. There's a short pause while he picks the patient up. We'll just sit here looking cool. So this is the bit where they're just tending to the patient, getting him ready to load back on the stretcher. There he is, bringing him back. One of the little quirks, of course, is that he has, and it's really to the animation while he was in the aircraft. And just as he got out, he was in his RAF flying suit. But for the animation for him to go and get the passenger, it's reverted back to the kind of standard orange flying suit that the stock or default rather has. So we load him in the back, and as we do that, he will magically change back to his RAF flying suit, I believe. There he goes. And then back into his orange as he walks round. There he goes. Then we'll just watch him get back in. Come on, fella. We've got to get a brew on. Right.
Cabin is secure.
There we go. Cabin is secure. That's great. Now it's telling us to fly to the hospital. So we're going to go back into flight mode. And this is the bit you've all been waiting for. This is where I try and land at the hospital on that tight pad. Cheers, fellas. Right, everything's looking good. Let's go. It's so much easier to fly this helicopter in VR just because your awareness of everything around you and the motion of the helicopter is much more precise. But she is an absolute beauty to fly with all these additional things that we can do. It just adds so much immersion with the action pack, giving you, you know, a real reason to fly. Just fly over all the containers here. That's interesting. Yeah, that's what it was doing before. So it takes off, and then as it starts moving forward, be careful not to over talk. As it starts moving forward, I guess it's moving out of something, and it suddenly starts to lose height. I guess as you're in the hover, you've got quite a lot of down thrust and maybe cushioning ground effect or something like that. And then all of a sudden you lose that. Right, Colchester, here we come. So it shouldn't take us too long to get back there. So I presume you're watching this because you're into helicopters, so put in the comments down below what helicopter you're flying and what do you like about it. I'd be interested to know. I'm enjoying flying the MD 500E. The Cow and Sim helicopter. That's good fun, and it's really only that and this that I fly, if I'm honest. And it's strange because I'm not really a big fan of glass cockpits, certainly don't like them in fixed wing, but for some reason in this helicopter it all just seems to fit so well and make so much sense. What do you think? We're right in the back there, lads. And they're just like, oh, keep looking forward. All right, don't worry. You're perfectly safe in my hands. Have you signed the insurance waiver? If not, you should have done. There's a nice little house down there with, it's like a lake. So here we are coming up on the hospital. You can see Colchester just ahead. From memory, think we are coming from a favourable direction. Certainly coming from a favourable direction with regards to the wind. Do you agree? Yeah, he's no use. What's the point of a co-pilot like you, eh? Yeah. I wouldn't mind if he had a few stories to tell, you know. Bit of light-hearted banter just to pass the time. You can't even make a decent brew back at the base, can you? No. Right, need to start thinking about this. Times like this I wish I was back in VR, because that certainly would make life a bit easier. So let's get some semblance of composure. It's going to start losing some of the speed. So we're just doing a nice gentle deceleration so that we don't go flying over the top. Now I think that's the hospital there. That looks about right, doesn't it? Oh, and then don't know if that was a gust, but it suddenly. Let's see if we can spot that helipad. I'd like to have a look at it first, just to get an idea of what we're dealing with. Good God, is that it? You're looking at the wrong place, you idiot. It's over there, isn't it? Honestly, completely misinterpreted the scale of the map to the scale of the outside world. There's a lot of trees around here, I'll tell you that. Right, where are you, helipad? Now, I had a quick look at this from the air. There it is. There it is. So there's a fair bit of trees around there, but it's not impossible. And I will tell you now, it's a hell of a lot better than Ipswich was. Right. So let's just bring it round ever so gently, and let's have a look at our approach. So because of those trees, I really want to come in from over here, I think.
$500.
Come over a little bit too far forward, I think, because now I've lost visibility of it, so I'm just going to try and walk us back a bit, just so I can get a better view. Aircraft twitching around a bit, twitching around quite a lot there. Let's keep going back. Can you see how it's twitching? There's the pad. Right, that's what I want to... So there's a tree over here on the right hand side, so let's just bring it to the left a little bit. Let's kill the... Get rid of that just so I can see. Been faffing around with that. I've now overcooked it a little bit, so come on.
Warning, terrain.
Certainly times like this makes me think it would be worth investing in one of those springless sticks that people keep telling me I should get. Oh, close to the trees. Close to the trees. Come on. There we go. Right. Let's have a look. Put her into idle, and hopefully The fella should hop out. So I seem to be having a bit of a problem at the moment, if I'm honest, with something's not quite playing correctly, and he should have jumped out there and offloaded the patient, but for whatever reason it hasn't happened. Something I need to have a look at. I think there's potentially a bit of a glitch in the sim, but nonetheless we got here, we got to the hospital, and our patient can now be offloaded in your imagination. And we have survived another mission, sort of. So it's just the way it goes with these things, isn't it? Obviously something I need to look at, try and figure out why that the patient didn't offload. I might need to, I don't know, might need to do a reinstall or something like that, but you know, that's the real, that really is the realistic, what am I trying to say? That's just how Sims are, isn't it? You know as well as I do, things don't always go to plan, and I, with videos like this, I always try and, you know, make it as off the cuff and as real as I can, as if you're just coming along with me for the flight, and sometimes weird things like that happen, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed the flight. It was certainly good fun, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.